Hello. My name is Gigaschatten, and I am going to introduce you to the game Planets.nu. So, what is Planets.nu? Have you ever thought and wondered, how about who would win if a Darkwing would attack, I don't know, a Virgo, which is like Battlestar Galactica? Or have you wondered ever, wow, how would it be if a Federation, Galaxy class ship would attack a superstar destroyer? And all these combinations we have in one game, and this game is called Planets.nu actually. But you still don't know exactly what it is. Well, it is a kind of space opera game. I will show that to you in a second. And this is a turn-based game. Now, what are turn-based games? You probably saw them when you are playing some role-playing games where you have like, you know, a hero which you move and then the enemy moves. It's, I think, in Heroes of Might of Magic, something like that. And then it's turn-based, right? So you do turns and then the enemy does a turn and then you see the result. Now the fun part is this is pretty similar to playing chess actually. So you have a big chessboard and long talk, I will show you the game in a second. So if you log in, first of all, you will see um, such a place here in the browser, and you will have your profile here. Then you have all the games you can play. You can play up to 7 games. And you have, people writing on the news feed. And then here on the right hand side, you have several menus. We will explore them in one of the other tutorials I will show to you. But let's jump into a game. So here I have a game. I am the lizards. These are from the lore of Star Trek. It is when Captain Kirk in the first time encounters the lizards, the Gorn, and he beams onto a planet and he has to build an ancient weapon to kill that enemy lizard Gorn kind of guy, but he's like 30 times stronger than him and he can only beat him by building a weapon. Okay, so let's have a look. I am now in the game, and what the game consists of, all these circles here, they represent planets. Let's say you have one star at each place and you have a planet. Okay, each planet has certain characteristics. So let's just click on this one or this one, doesn't matter. Let's take this one. You have a temperature, and then you see lots of stuff here on the left hand side. So first of all, let's focus. You always have a planet picture and a temperature. The temperature is important. It will depict on how your colonists will grow or not. Then let's start with the bottom part here. You have kind of 4 natural minerals which are always either on-site the planet and inside the planet, because you haven't mined them yet. So on the surface, you see on this planet, you have 3 metal types. These are called uranium, tritanium, and molybdenum, or molybdenum, sorry. And these numbers here represent, this is on the, what's it called, on the surface of the planet. So you can just grab it and transport it to somewhere else. However, if you want to get the other minerals, they are inside the planet. Okay, so that's depicted here by a slash. And in order to mine them, get them onto the surface, you would need to build mines. Okay. The other thing is also you have something called neutronium, and this is basically like the how do you call them in Star Trek? You have these crystals in the warp core, the matter, antimatter core, and this is the fuel. Okay, so instead of oil or gas, ships in this game they burn neutronium. So this is basically just the fuel. Okay, What else do we have? So we have mega credits. So it's just a name, but this is basically the money. You see that depicted here with a dollar sign. And you have something like supplies. Supplies can be built by building factories. They will then automatically, one factory will produce one supply per turn. And you can use that supplies to either repair ships or sell them in order to get mega credits. And you also need the supplies to build more factories, mines, or defense posts. Okay? Okay. So that's basically on how you do an economy. And what you also see here on the right hand side are I have like one colonist clan on this planet. One clan consists of 100 people. And yeah, that's this. Okay, so let's also look at another planet. Let's look at this one. If you think, why is this planet blue and these are like gray? The gray ones here mean I haven't explored them yet. So I don't know what is on the planet, inside the planet, etc. Okay? The ones which have this light blue color are those planets which not only have I visited, but where I also have dropped colonists. If there are planets which I have visited, but I didn't drop colonists like this one, then you still see, look at the upper right corner here. So if I move my mouse, you can't see it, but here you hover over this planet, you see that I have visited it, but didn't drop any clans. Either I didn't have them, or there's a specialty here because of the natives. Morphs eat up to 5 clans per turn. Therefore, I didn't have enough clans and all of them would have died, so I didn't bother to drop anything. But same thing applies. This 39, 31, 21, these are the symbols for the three metal types, as I have shown you here. So look at this. And these are the symbols, right? And if you just hover over a planet, then you just see them with these symbols, so you don't, have a lot of clutter with text and so on. Also, you see the number of clans is 0, number of mega credits unknown, but it's 0, and supply 0, and neutronium I had beamed up, but that's for another time, and that's it. So this is an uninhabited planet which I have already seen but didn't colonize. And these gray planets, they are planets as I said before, haven't visited yet. They might be in enemy hands or not, but I have absolutely no information about them. Okay, what else do we see on this map? So I can also, let me get rid of this, move the map by clicking the left hand, the left mouse button and drag the star map. And every game, or this game, for example, is an epic game. It has 500 planets and we have 11 races. So a race, as I said, in this game, I'm playing the Gorn, the lizards, and then you have the Star Trek, you have Federation, you have Battlestar Galactica, you have the robots from them and the colonies of man. Then you have the cyborg, which are leaned onto the Borg. Then you have the privateers. These are the Orion pirates. Then you have an equivalent of the Klingons. Then you have the Birdman and the Crystal People. They are the, I think, Shelnak Corporation, also from Star Trek Federation. Whom did I forget? The Evil Empire. So this is from Star Wars. And you also have the Rebels. So here you can also, play against a Death Star or a Superstar Destroyer. But we will come to that. Okay, so again, I can, with my left mouse, move the map. And I can also zoom in. Yeah, really deep into it. Like this. Or zoom out. And the maximum is like this. Okay. Now, what else do we see? You see some stuff here, right? And here are so strange lines and also these strange symbols. They look like arrows. All these arrows are actually ships. So what you do is, not only do you colonize planets, but you somehow need to reach those planets. And these are done by building ships and moving them. So let's click, for example, on this ship. this is a ship of mine. It is a big, huge carrier. You have basically, I would say, 3 types of ships in this game. Types, right? So every race has many different hulls and ships he can build, like 20, some can only build 15 different types, but you can categorize them into freighters, which have no armament at all, but they have large cargo spaces. Then you have like fighting ships, like the one you see, and this is, by the way, a capital ship of the Gorn, of the so-called lizards in this game. And the third one, I would say they are utility ones. Every race has a so-called Merlin class alchemy ship, which can convert minerals, and the other one is there for generating or building neutronium, correct? So the fuel, so to speak. Okay, so again, let's take for example this ship. This is a small freighter, and as you can see, this one is only transporting mega credits. Okay, so let's have another one. This ship, for example, this is a large freighter, and it's not only transporting mega credits, but it's also transporting some clans, some minerals, and so on. And let's don't focus on these things yet, maybe just to this one. And also it has a crew, and it has some 2 engines. Here the engine types are specified. There are also different engine types. With certain engine types you can fly faster one turn, and with others you fly, so to speak, slower. So you can't make as many light years in a turn. Then you have different missions, which every ship can perform each turn. So every ship can either do, one of these. So if I say beam up fuel, self-speaking, if a planet has fuel, let's say, then I could beam up the fuel. I could set kill, doesn't make sense for a freighter. I can say mine sweep. You can also lay minefields here. You can do sensor sweep, which means you, as it says, search for enemy colonies on nearby planets. I can try to intercept other ships. And as I said here, beam up all the stuff like this. How do I do that? It's pretty simple. As I said, if you look on the map, here we have a ship. You see it via this arrow, and everything which is in green color, or here in this area, these are my ships, and the enemies, this is an ally, that's why I have marked them green, but let's, for the moment, turn them into blue guys, so we can better see it here on the map. Now it's my ally here, and here you see all these green ships. These are my ships. Okay, and the interesting part is every game you fight against other humans. So this is like chess, but it's not 1 against 1. It is 1 against 11, or in this case 2 against 11 or 3. You have also the possibility, to do diplomacy. You can phone with people, talk to them, whatever. And yeah, but again, this is like chess. And every player does his turn, and then everyone has time for, let's say, 2 or 3 days. Sometimes you need to do it every day, for example, when the game starts, but then everything slows down because the more ships you need to manage and planets, the longer it takes. But basically, it's a simulation game where you do chess with spaceships and planets. And really, the real fun part is every race is different. We will come to that in other tutorials. So let's focus again. So you see the arrow, and then you see a line, right? And this line, depending on how long it is, will show you if you can reach a planet in 1 turn. So this guy has transwarp engines, so he can fly 81 light years a turn, and then it will reach its destination. So let's, for example, have a look at this ship. If I click left mouse click it only, it will reset this arrow. I need to click the ship, and if I don't know, want to fly this direction, I would just click there. Okay, so next turn then, this ship will try to perform and fly this direction. And as you can see, on its path, it is drawing these circles. And the reason for that is, so if and you see here at the end, this is a distance of 84 light years. Oh my god. 184.5 light years. So it needs 1, 2, 3 turns to reach that. So as with chess, for example, a peasant can only move 1 square, unless you start the game there, it can move 2, but it will then move just 1 turn. And here, this one is almost pretty much the 81 light years. So if I fly directly like in this direction, and let me zoom in and fly into the space, and now if you zoom in a lot, then you see this grid, and every grid is just 1 light year. Obviously, when I go now to the left here, this will be a little bit longer because of the Pythagorean theorem, right? I'm flying a triangle, but due to rounding, this is still okay. But if I move further now, you see at some point of time, this goes to 81.1 light years, and I won't be able to reach it then in 1 turn, right? And at some point of time, I think it's when you go above the 0.5 rounding limit. Here you see 82, 81.9, and so on. And 81.5 you can still fly because it rounds it down, but 81.6 it doesn't. So it will fly to this point, and then, I would need another turn to reach that point. So again, right mouse clicking doesn't do anything. Left mouse I can drag, mouse wheel I can zoom in, and now I select a planet, for example. Or if I want to directly select a planet, I go to these arrows, I say, okay, I'm done with this ship, and you left click on this planet. Now I have the planet marked. If I now click on others, I can move around the map again. Okay, so again, I click on the ship and I want to send it this direction. Here you see in red color, here's an enemy. You also see other symbols here, so let's quickly also have those explained. Here you see if you click on it, there will be a small explanation. So what I did is, here it says the colony is on Mothball. This is the planet's name. You see it on the top right, you see 442. Every planet has also an ID. It has X and Y coordinates and temperature and everything we discussed. Here it says, the colonists on Mothball have defeated Birdman Jezarimu forces. We are now in control of the planet. So my alias in this game is Gigaschatten, and the enemy has named himself Jezarimu. And he's playing the Birdman, and the Birdmen are the, how do you call them? Oh my god. So you have the Vulcans, and they also have the Romulans, right? The Birdmen is the Romulan Empire, so they have many cloaking ships, right? And they also have this D'Deridex class again, but we will come to that. Okay, so let's now take a planet which is a little bit more developed, for example, this one. So again, before I click on it, this is not developed. 0 mines, 0 factories, 0 defense. What is the defense? Every planet you can build defense structures, which will try to fight enemy ships. We will see that in a second. And as I said, now let's go to this planet. Also, we have a different symbol here. Yeah, before I do that, let's click on the symbol, and it says distress call. The climate is killing us. Temperature is 97 degrees. 12 clans have died. 229 clans have survived. We are eating supplies to survive. As I said before, if the temperatures are too high, then the colonists will die because it's too hot and, people will burn to death. If it is too cold, it's the same thing, just the other way around. There are certain races which can, for example, the rebels, as you recall in Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back, they prefer like ice planets because not many people will search for them, and they have developed techniques to, sustain that cold a little bit better than other races. So for them, For each race, a different kind of range applies, but for the lizard, for example, 97 degrees is too hot. And you see each turn, so if you, as I said, one clan is 100 kind of colonists, 11 clans have died. Yeah, and next turn, or this turn some clans died, and next turn I will lose again 11. And with that rate, if it continues, there is a threshold, and this threshold is here. Without even sending more clans, 113 clans can survive on this planet, and then no one will die. But until then, if I have more, they will die slowly. Okay, now I built factories. In order to build factories, you need supplies and mega credits. And since you can build and sell the supplies at a rate of 3 to 1, you get mega credits, which means if I sell 3 supplies, I would get 3 mega credits. Okay? Okay, just think of that. And with those, I have 111 factories on this planet. And if I click on it, you see here another thing popping up. And here again, 2 numbers. The one is the actual amount of mines, factories, and defenses I have on the planet. And also when you click on the factories here, it says factories cost 3 mega credits and 1 supply. So every 4 supplies you have on the planet, you can build a factory, right? Or if you have mega credits, then 1 supply plus 3 mega credits equivalent will build you a factory. And if you click on mines, mines cost 4 mega credits and 1 supply. And it also shows you how much not only do I have on the surface, but I'm also digging out. These numbers here are capped, which means I can't build like 10,000 mines or 10,000 factories. There are formulas for that. For this, you can basically always kind of remember factories I can always build around about 100 to 130, 20, 50, depends on the amount of clans. And mines also around 200 or 250. Your homeworld, you always start with a homeworld. I will show that in a tutorial as well, where we are going to play against a computer, and you will see all the turns, what I do, how you do it, how you build these factories, and so on. But for now, it's just a kind of a general introduction on a little bit of the interface and the map and what you see on the map and so on. Okay, so let's again. Here I said you see the numbers on the surface. So I have a lot of fuel on the surface, some uranium, titanium on the surface, and only 6 molybdenum. And also you see I dug almost everything out of this planet, but I have, this is why I've marked it in yellow, lots of uranium on this planet. Now, if you hover over the planet, again, look at the right-hand side, you see in parentheses a percentage. That means if you have 100 mines on a planet, let's say for the neutronium, you would dig out 93 neutronium per turn. If you have 200 mines, you would get 93 times 2. That's the so-called mineral density. So I would then get 186 minerals per turn. The uranium, this is this one, the second one. Look again to the upper right. You see 31. So 100 mines will only produce or dig out 31 each turn. Whereas 200 mines will dig out 62, and so on. So every planet has different densities. And as you can see, this planet is not that good. It doesn't have many minerals, and except for the uranium, the others have like 16%, 19%, 48%. Not very good. But if you look at this planet, for example, this is very mineral rich planet. It has lots of uranium, lots of titanium, and also you get lots of minerals out. Okay. Every race has also some unique abilities, because you might wonder if I hover over this planet, you'll see 31, and I have like 200 mines on it, 206. So it's 2.06 times 31. But here still on the left, you see I dig out every turn 128. And the reason for that is because I have a race, and the race are the Gorn, as I said, and they have one special ability since they are so strong. And besides other abilities, as I said, they're very good in ground combat. And since they are so strong, they mine at double the rate. So if you would take a calculator, would be 4.12 times 31, and this will equal 128, which you see here. Okay, good. Then besides these structures, so you have normal planets like this. So you see a planet here, and here in this magenta color, is it magenta? Magenta, I'm not sure. I will look it up. Here I have marked my star bases. In order to be able to build a ship, you need a star base. Star bases cost lots of money, so let me show that to you. Here you can almost not see it because the UI is not that good sometimes, but here if you click on it, it says in order to build a star base, you do not have enough minerals or money to build a star base on this planet. I would need 120 uranium, and it says you have 525, as you can see here. Titanium is enough, but I like moly. This is this, and I like the mega credits, right? So not enough of this, and not enough of this. But once I would have it, so let's go to a planet here where we have it. This is my home world. This is starting place. I will explain that as well. Then you will start with hull tech, engine tech, beam, and torpedoes at level 1. And depending on what level you have, that depicts what kind of hull you can build, with what kind of engines, how strong your beam weapons are, and your torpedo tubes. So let's have a look at what happens if you, for instance, get attacked or attack. So I'm going into the kind of the overview. So again, here clicking on this will bring me back to the star map, and clicking this again will bring me to this screen here. Again, lots of things to see here. We're not going to go through everything in this tutorial, but in the next one. So, but let's have a look. Here you will now see a how do you say it? A battleship of the Romulan Empire attacking one of the planets I had attacked. And as you can see, it has torpedo tubes, so it will fire torpedoes in a second. There you go. And it has some beam weapons as well. We will see that those later. And also you see numbers here. So it has like 18 torpedoes. You remember in Star Trek, I think at James C. Kirk, right? The old ones, if you've seen them, before the quantum torpedoes were invented or whatever, you had like torpedoes, like a submarine, right? And this ship has like had like 1, 2, 3, 4, I think 523 at the beginning. And it also just fired one beam, and then the beams, they take some time, regenerate, and then you can fire them again. You can fire unlimited times the beams, but torpedoes you can only fire as long as you have torpedoes built and on board the ships. Every ship also has a shield. You can't see it, but there's a deflector shield around every ship. And different torpedoes, beams do different kind of damage. So, and then the larger the ship is, the more it can sustain. This ship has 0 damage, and it has a crew of 910. And as you can see, the planet here on the right hand side had a laser as defense, but torpedoes have a higher range, so they fire first. And then once you reach a damage of 100, then either a ship is destroyed or a planet is taken over. Same thing. Let's have another look at the next one. Here you see I'm approaching. This planet has like no defenses. Going to fire torpedoes. 3 fired. I had 11 before, and I captured this planet. Okay, so this planet here was captured by me. This planet was mine before. He kind of, captured it. We just saw it with his battleship, and now it is now colored in red, in his color, and this one is the one I have captured. And another thing, a planet can also have natives. I will talk about that also in a second. Okay. Now, also one more thing. Again, each ship can perform several actions. Also, don't bother about this. Okay, I mean, let's do that as well. Every ship needs fuel. Once the fuel runs out, you are a sitting duck. Then anyone can tell you, go to starbase, and then your ship will surrender. Here's a warp speed set. Warp speed 9 is normally the maximum. There are exceptions to this, like the privateers. They are the Orient pirates from Star Trek, and they can fly warp 9 times 2. So every normal ship with these engines can fly 81 light years, and the privateers as a race advantage. They have special ships, 3 of them, which go 162 light years. Then it will say, if I fly this direction with this cargo and so on with this ship, then I will, from my 28 fuel, which I have on board, burn 19 of it, right? And I need to find some gas in one of these planets. And at the same time, you can't see it very well because it's zoomed out. If you zoom in, you suddenly see a kind of greenish colored circle. What's that? Yeah, I have torpedoes, and you can lay them as minefields, and this is exactly what I'm doing. So if I change my mission for this ship every turn, I can set the mission a different one, but I can always set just one. This ship has also a cloaking device. I could cloak myself. I could go for sensor reading, and then you see a larger circle appears, which will try to scan other planets and gather information. I can hiss. This is a race ability. I can beam up stuff. And as I said, I can also go for mine sweeping. So I could use my beams I have here. And then you see I would clear 64 mines with this technology of beam weapons, which I have built on board this ship. And you see this minefield has 2048 mines. And in order to sweep it, 2084 divided by 64, I don't know, it's like 30 turns. So it just takes ages, right? So these beam weapons I have are obviously not very good. There are others which sweep much more, but for now I'm going to do the lay mine field option, and I will lay all of them. And then this is a minefield. So enemy ships traveling through the minefield, I don't know the exact numbers, we will look that up. They have a hit probability of every light year they fly through it. Cloaked ships have a smaller rate, whereas normal ships, I think, is it 1%? I'm not sure. We will look that up, okay? And then if a ship hits a mine, it can either get totally destroyed in one turn, or it can sustain one or more mine hits but will get damaged. Damaged ships don't fight with as many beam weapons and torpedoes. Their warp speed is reduced, and also they don't have, in the turn they hit a mine, I think, don't have shields. Yeah, pretty sure of that. Yeah, and with that, as I said, also I have a look. Here I have a starbase, and here you can then build ships on your starbases. I'm cloning. This is a special ability, which also not every race has, but most of the races. There are 2 exceptions, the Shellnuk, the Crystal People, so-called, and the Privateers. But that's it. I hope you liked the first tutorial. The next tutorial will cover in depth more the 11 races. But again, just to summarize, what is Planets.nu? It's a great game. It is chess style based if you want. You build planets, you colonize planets, you build ships, and you play normally against 10 other human players. Okay? With that, I hope to see you in the next tutorial. Gigaschatten over and out.